Hey guys, Dr. Adam Nally coming to you live from Waddell, Arizona. It's a Friday evening. I know it's later than I usually come on, but I was at the office quite late and taking care of some business at the office and some urgent issues with patients. And so I got home a little later. And so here I am. I thought this evening I would do part 20 of Why Be in Ketosis and talk about savoring the salt. One of the things that we find when you're using a ketogenic lifestyle is that the burning of fat, triglycerides essentially turn into ketones, but when those ketones are processed, it produces three byproducts: ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. It's the energy that lets you let your muscles contract and helps you. It's one of the forms of fuel. It's essential. And then two byproducts. One is carbon dioxide, which you breathe off when you exhale, and then the second is water. So as you burn fat, you produce a large amount of water, and your body needs to get rid of that water. So it puts salt into the kidney, and water follows it out of the kidney. In doing this, the big challenge, is that you're going to lose a lot of salt, and that's going to be sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. And that's one of the big challenges that happens. And hello, everybody. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? And hey, Holly, how are you? It's good to see you guys. So the big challenge that you want to realize is that you start to lose a lot of salt. Now, when you're following a low-fat lifestyle, a vegetarian lifestyle, a vegan lifestyle, your body you're intaking a larger amount of carbohydrate, and that carbohydrate stimulates insulin, and insulin stimulates you to retain salt. So over the last 50 or 60 years, your doctors probably said, well, avoid salt. And the reason is because that high insulin load from a diet that's 85% sugar, which is what the average American eats on his plate or her plate, causes you to retain a great deal of salt. And that can affect you adversely, cause leg swelling, things of that nature. What we find when you're eating the correct diet is that your body then uses that salt to remove water like it's supposed to. And you stop seeing swelling in the legs and varicose veins and all those exciting things that are so fun when you're eating a diet high in starches and sugars. So as you shift to lowering the sugars and increasing the fat, your body loses salt by eliminating water. So you get to put the salt back in your diet. That's why I said you get to savor the salt. You get to put that salt back in, and that salt allows you to feel a lot better. Now, an interesting study that was done about 17 or 18 years ago showed that when you actually increase salt to where it's supposed to be, people actually feel better. Their blood sugar gets better and their blood pressure goes down. If you want to read the nuts and bolts of that, go to my blog at docmuscles.com and click on the blog link and look at the most recent article that talks about salt itself and why salt is so essential and so key in helping us to feel better and function better. And actually, a study, it was a small study, but it showed that it improves blood sugar, blood pressure, and overall feeling of well-being. The post before that talks about the keto flu and how a lack of salt, especially when you're starting a ketogenic lifestyle, if you don't put enough salt in your diet, well, you can actually get symptoms of the keto flu. So very problematic. So that's why in ketosis or in a ketogenic lifestyle, part number 20, you get to savor the salt. So quick and easy to go. Hopefully that helps. So I'll look back here and look to see who's logging on here. So Margaret says hello from Comox. Is that British Columbia? Hello, Margaret. Cool. Hello, Louisa from Ontario, Canada. I'm sure it's cold there. You know, every time I start to do this, my dog starts to bark. It's amazing. He never fails. He starts to bark. So I apologize about the barking dog in the background. Let's see. Otto says from Medicine Hat, Alberta. How are you? It's good to see you guys. What's up, Mitzi? It's good to see you too. And I apologize about the barking dog. My wife and children and daughter are gone, and so he's going to bark unless I go get him. We'll see what he does. Hello from Frisco, Texas. Hi, Holly. How are you? Jessica, hey. Gwen, it's good to see you. Good evening. We already said, and then Rhonda was there. All right. Well, if you have a moment, South Detroit. Let's see. Alec is in Surprise. South Detroit is where William's at, and then Edmonton, Alberta. I apologize about the barking dog in the background. Such fun. And he's got the highest pitch bark. He's partially blind and partially deaf, so he won't hear me until my voice goes up and he starts barking at me because he wants just to bark. He's about 78 or 79 in dog years, I think. Eric says hello in San Diego. Hey, Eric Z, long time no see. Where do I go to find your book? Go to Amazon. Go to Target.com, go to Simon & Schuster, go to docmuscles.com, click on the blog and you'll see the link to it. You can pre-order it there. I just found out that it's going into Costco, which is fantastic. And it's going to be all over the place, I hope. So it'll be a great book. I'm hearing some good reviews already. And so we're excited by that. That Sky asked that question. Now, Angela asked, Himalayan pink sea salt, is it better than white? It absolutely is. The problem with a lot of the regular white table salt is they're starting to add maltodextrin or dextrose to the salt to make it last longer, preserve longer, and taste better, which is a problem because that's just sugar. So they're actually adding sugar to your salt, and that becomes another issue that actually raises your weight and causes weight to halt. So I like the pink salts, either the Himalayan pink or the Hawaiian pink. Someone actually mentioned on one of my blog posts today that there's an Australian salt that has higher in magnesium. Ancient Australian, I think I need to check that one out. Let's see. So where do I go? I already answered that question. Let me see. What's the next one? Sky Lambert, who's going to personalize copies. Yes, I'm doing that too. Thank you for reminding me, Vicki. As I get a little closer, I'm actually going to sign and personalize some copies and be able to ship those out to you as well. So that link will be coming to where to register for that too. So thank you for reminding me of that. Hello from North Texas, Dara. Guam, is it Jabal? All the way out in Guam. Wow, Jabal, that's awesome. Yes, I'll be selling them on my own site. Yes, signed copies. I'm in the process of working on that right now, so that will be coming here shortly. Let's see. Albert says, I still have one med of losartan to wean off. Do you encourage patients to wait for blood pressure to go down before weaning it off, or do you just encourage them to wean the medicine and blood pressure adjusts? Albert, I do that on an individual, personal basis. So that's where you actually come and see me in my office and we talk about that. I don't give individual advice on blood pressure pills unless I actually have seen trends, know who you are, know what other medicines you are. That's kind of a complex question to answer. And so I would say talk with your doctor about when and where that weaning process is appropriate, or come and see me in my office. You are very welcome, Angela. Let's see. And Crystal is back on. Hello, how are you? I watched another doctor on YouTube that mentioned statins can inhibit cholesterol, but we shouldn't take them. Do you have an opinion about that? Oh, Jessica Cooper, go to my blog post at docmuscles.com, scroll down to the third or fourth most recent blog, talks about cholesterol, and I talk about it gives you my position in written form on statins. You got to read that. Dara says she lost 40 pounds on keto, but recently been stuck at the same weight for a week. So Dara, we're going to have plateaus. What happens is you lose a little weight and plateau, lose a little weight and plateau, because you're gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time. So take the scale and give it to the neighbor you don't like, and stop worrying about the scale and just monitor your waist circumference. That's all I want you to do. That's what I would recommend. Let me rephrase that. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend to my patients. And I would say to you, stop worrying about the scale. The scale lies. It incessantly lies to you and makes you feel bad about yourself. So give it to the neighbor you don't like. Juval says started using the vitamins. Oh, that's awesome, Juval. They're great. You'll love them. I hope you really enjoy them. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions here. Did you get them all the way out in Guam? Did they ship to Guam? If they did, that's amazing. That's awesome. Hello from Arkansas, Lori. How are you? Can we get your book in Canada's Costco, or should Canadians order from the website? Well, if you want a signed copy, come to my website. And you'll get a signed copy once that link goes up. It's not up quite yet. It will be here shortly. And then the second is, as far as I know, yes, you can get it in Canada. I'm pretty sure you can get it in Canada. It will be available in Canada because they ship it all over, and I'm pretty sure the Costco in Canada may have it too. I think. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yes, they ship to Guam. That's awesome. Very cool. Laurel, yeah. So as soon as they're telling me the date is April 10th. It's going out. Hopefully, Costco will have it on around that date. I don't know in Canada how quickly they post books out once the release date hits. But yes, I'm pretty sure that it is in U.S. and Canada is where it's going to be released on the 10th. Great questions, you guys. Any other questions I can answer? Again, I apologize about the barking dog in the background. Let's see here. Facebook may be waxing and waning in and out. If you like what you hear, please share this out. Thank you for the shares and the hearts. I did not go live on Periscope this evening. Had a little glitch with my camera, but that's okay. So I'm live on Facebook here. Please share this out if you like what you're hearing. Check out my blog at docmuscles.com. Check out the keto cart that's there. Register for my newsletter that comes out, and watch closely because the signed copies of my book to register for those will be available here shortly. That web link is being worked on as we speak. Where can I find human studies on exogenous ketones? Go to docmusclesketones.com. That is the link to my ketone store. I'm a distributor for Prove It, and they have a bunch of links to exogenous ketone studies in humans that are being currently run, and those that have already been completed, Lori. So hopefully that helps. And then then in my book, I talk about them in the book, and I've been using them in my practice for over 2 years, and I see amazing clinical results. Is it okay to eat keto desserts if I'm insulin resistant? That's like asking if it's okay to smoke if you have lung cancer. No. I'm sorry, keto desserts. Well, that depends on what keto dessert it is. There's a lot of shyster keto people out there right now, and so you really need to understand what a keto meal is. So hopefully you're following some of the good dietitians and good recipe makers that understand keto. Hey Jen near Memphis, how are you? And Adam, thanks for putting the website in, docmuscles.com. That's my website. Go there, check that out. Will your book come in Spanish too? I'd love to give a copy to my mom and dad. Adam, I need to talk with the publisher. I'm assuming that I think there's a certain set point that we hit that it will be translated, I think, but I need to check on that. I know that it's coming out in an audio form and Kindle's coming out. And so hopefully that'll be the case. Can we have black tea? Crystal, I tell people no because black tea spikes insulin. I've had it halt lots of people's weight loss, so no. Are you going into production with bacon bob and the chocolate covered bacon with a sprinkle of pink salt? I'm trying to find a chocolate manufacturer that will do low carb chocolate and dip it in bacon and put it in pink salt. I'm looking for that. Yes, Laurel. Is keto helpful for varicose veins? It actually is, Shelley. I was surprised, but I'm actually finding people tell me that it is. If they're real severe, it doesn't reverse them, but it notably helps with mild to moderate ones. Berberine Plus is great for diabetics. Berberine Plus is great, yes. However, if you're not using metformin, metformin actually is stronger than berberine. They work along the same mechanism. So if you're already using metformin, berberine won't help you. It's just a caveat there. But other than that, yes, it helps blood sugar dramatically. Why would one have a high apolipoprotein B test when all the other tests are in range? Which tests are you referring to that are all the other, Albert? If you're saying just a standard lipid panel, it's because apolipoprotein B screens for inflammation, where the standard lipid panel does not. I'm assuming that's what you're asking. This is embarrassing, but any reason you think why I've had loose stools and watery diarrhea since I started 6 weeks ago with keto? I've heard others have the opposite issue with keto being stuck. Jessica, you're not fat adapted. It takes up to 8 to 12 weeks for some people to fat adapt. That means your fat content, your gut's not quite used to the fat in the diet, and so you need to, and I apologize about the barking dog in the background. I'm sorry. I can't help him unless I get up and walk away. But anyway, you got to be fat adapted. And that takes anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks to upregulate those fat receptors. So you might want to just back the fat off just a hair, and you'll see less of that happen. You are welcome, Crystal Shivers. You are welcome, Lori. Love Prove It Too and fellow prover. Yes. So Lori, why did you ask the question if you're a fellow prover? You should know where to go. What do you feel about a vegan keto lifestyle? Eric, if you can do a vegan keto lifestyle, more power to you, because to do a vegan keto lifestyle correctly and not be deficient in vitamins and some of the essential amino acids and minerals takes some real skill. It can be done, and I've had some people do it, but it's not easy. So can you do it? Yeah, you can. There's some big issues with folic acid and some other things that are a challenge to get. I'm sorry, not folates, your fat soluble vitamins and some of the minerals can be a challenge. I'm going to ask for a visit with you for my birthday. You'll be 39. You live near Memphis. Well, Jennifer, come visit me for your birthday. That'd be great. Chocolate covered bacon. Oh my, yes, I'd love that too. Yeah, I've been trying to get a friend of mine in Australia by the name of Chocolate Johnny, I think he's in Australia, to make a low carb chocolate, bacon dipped chocolate with pink Himalayan sea salt sprinkles. That's what I've been trying to find. We've been working on that. He doesn't think it's going to sell very much. I'm telling him, hey, the keto revolution's coming. He's going to have to shift and conform to the keto lifestyle. Maybe we'll convince him. If there's another chocolate manufacturer out there that wants to make a low carb chocolate that's bacon dipped low carb chocolate with pink salt sprinkles, it'd be awesome. Have you ever had salt on your chocolate? It's actually really good. It's really yummy, but it has to be low carb chocolate. And the problem is that a lot of low carb chocolates are made with a sweetener that like xylitol that spikes the insulin anyway, or it's made with erythritol, which gives you gastrointestinal gymnastics. So it can be a challenge. Couldn't find the studies on humans that were done recently in the last few years. Well, because those probably haven't been posted to the website, so you need to actually do a PubMed search or Medline search for those to find those, but they do exist. They probably just haven't updated the site. They're in my book, but they haven't been updated. So check out my book. All right, guys, great questions. Any other questions I can answer for you this evening? If not, remember to savor the salt while you're doing a ketogenic lifestyle, because it really tastes good and it'll make you feel better. Lily's chocolate chips melted. Yeah, yes. If you get Lily's chocolate chips and then dip them in bacon, or take the bacon and dip it in melted Lily's chocolate and then sprinkle salt. Oh, so good, so good. Yeah, if you don't know what Lily's chocolate is, go to my website and check out the extras there. You'll find it. Is a baby in uterine ketogenic? So a baby in the uterus is only ketogenic if mom is, but as soon as a baby's born, if the baby is breastfed, the baby's in ketosis. Yes. Name of my book is The Keto Cure. Ketocure. Just 2 words. Keto Cure. Any thoughts on L-theanine and how it affects cortisol in ketosis in general? Theanine? I'm not sure what L-theanine is. I've never even heard of that, Raimundo. L-theanine. I'm not sure if that. Did you type it in correctly? I'm not sure what that one is. I'd have to look that one up because that's a new one to me. Does Prove It have any exogenous ketone drinks that actually taste good? Yeah, their pink lemonade is my favorite. And the Swiss cacao chocolate or the Swiss cocoa chocolate, I drink one of those every night. Those are awesome. I actually take the Swiss cocoa and I do about a half cup of ice, a cup of unsweetened almond milk, a half cup to a cup of heavy cream, and the chocolate. Shake it up. It's like amazing. Yvonne says diarrhea. I'm not quite sure why we're shouting diarrhea across. I don't know, Yvonne, why you said that, but exciting. I'd love to definitely buy chocolate dipped bacon. I would too, Adam. It really would be way yummy. It would be great. Great questions, you guys. I love the orange, says Gwen. The orange is good. I like it too, but I actually like their lemonade better, pink lemonade better. Is it better to stick with MCT or long chain triglycerides, or both? Rachel, both. That's why I recommend using coconut oil. You can use MCT oil if you want to, but coconut oil has a mix of both, and that's why I like it. I missed. Hold on, let's see. I missed one. Let's see. Lavonda says, love the keto chocolates that are available, but why are most of them made with inulin and chicory root? Because it actually tastes good, and chicory root doesn't spike your insulin, and the severe side effects go away if you start really slow and work your way up, Lavonda. They actually do. You just have to be slow about it. But the challenge is most of us, when you eat one piece of chocolate, you can't stop. And that's the hard part. Is there any proof that shows that Diet Coke, shows it will cause cancer? Jabal, I don't know anything about Diet Coke causing cancer, but I do know that the aspartame in Diet Coke actually notably inhibited my ability to stay in a deeper level of ketosis. When I stopped drinking aspartame about 6 weeks ago, I've been running this experiment on myself. Usually I had a hard time getting my ketones above 0.9 or 1.0. When I'd exercise, they'd go up higher, but that would be one of the challenges I found. And I wake up in the morning with my ketones around 0.4, 0.5, and I would struggle to get into ketosis. When I got rid of the aspartame that's in Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper, it took about 6 weeks. All of a sudden, my ketones now in the morning are at 1.0, 1.6. That's never happened to me before. And I've been a Diet Dr. Pepper addict for years, thinking that the aspartame was okay because of the studies that were there. Well, a recent couple studies came out. I posted that in the freebies on my website in regards to on the sweetener article, and you can read about it there. I'm a cake and cookie artist. If I have to taste test, can I spit it out, rinse my mouth with water, and prevent the sugar from affecting your ketones? Danny, you might be able to, although there is some absorption of sugar under the tongue within the first 10 seconds. So you'd have to, test yourself, see how fast you start to see that blood sugar kick in. What about butter? Butter's awesome, Rachel. Butter's great. I put butter on my steak this evening. I meant diarrhea on the keto diet. You get it or you're not getting it? That's the question. I didn't understand the first question. Does fasting or intermittent fasting slow metabolism? A ketogenic lifestyle stimulates natural periods of fasting, but intentional fasting for prolonged periods of time, if you don't provide yourself enough protein and fat, will actually slow the metabolism and actually cause rebound weight gain and a drop in testosterone and loss of muscle mass. So something to be aware of. Aspartame is a neurotoxin. Switch to mineral water and ketones, of course, too. Aspartame becomes a neurotoxin when you cook it, yes. That's why, but it doesn't preserve the flavor when you cook it. I started to use whipping cream in my evening smoothie. My waist measures are decreasing. Good, that's great, Margaret. That's awesome. Will cold and cough and flu meds throw me out of ketosis? Depends on what's in the cough and cold and flu medicines, Holly. Hopefully you're not coming down with the flu either. So, okay, Yvonne, I'm only getting part words through your sentences here. So I meant diarrhea. I'm going back to see what you said before that. I had a whole slew of things come through, and I might have missed the first one you mentioned. It looks like I did. I probably missed it. So I'm not quite sure what your question was. When people first start ketogenic lifestyle, when they increase the fat, if they're not keto adapted, yes, they can get diarrhea for the first few weeks, even up to even 12 weeks in some cases, if you are eating way too much fat. L-theanine is an amino acid found in green tea. It is supposed to be anti-stress. Actually, the green tea actually contains a tannin that spikes insulin. I don't think it's the L-theanine, as far as I know, but I'm not sure about. I'd have to look up L-theanine. That's one of the more rare. That one doesn't. It sounds similar. I got to look up L-theanine because that's one I don't know much about. But the green tea itself contains a tannin that spikes insulin, so I'm not a fan of using green tea at all. Are raspberry ketone supplements okay to take with keto? Raspberry ketones are worthless. They're not even ketones. I don't recommend them. I gave up the aspartame, but I had to increase my fat intake. Well, that's okay because you can. Aspartame is one of the reasons I used aspartame before was because it actually had an appetite suppression effect. But what we're finding is it changes the gut metabolism and diminishes your ability to stay in ketosis. And that's one of the things that we found, that I found. Keto Calm has L-theanine and helps de-stress and give us deeper sleep. The problem with Keto Calm, though, is that the tea that's there has a tannin that kicks you out of ketosis. So you're only going to maintain a ketosis, but it's going to be a shorter window because of the this insulin spike in those that are more insulin resistant. So I'm not a fan. I'll be frank, I'm not a fan of Keto Calm. I'm not a fan of it at all for that reason. Does keto diet increase fertility in men? It actually does. Lavonda, I'm not sure what the P there means, but that's I'm sure you probably hit the enter button on accident. All right, let's see. Great questions, you guys. All right, well, if you any more questions, pop them in there. Again, let me just introduce who I am. I'm Dr. Adam Nally. I'm a board-certified family physician, a board-certified obesity medicine specialist, practicing in the northwest corner of the valley of Phoenix Valley, called Surprise, little city called Surprise. We're in that northwest corner of suburb of Phoenix. Been in practice about 18 years. I've been doing ketogenic lifestyle for about 13 of those years. I've been living one myself for that period of time. Go check out docmuscles.com. Check out the Keto Cart. Check out the packages we have there. We're actually in the middle of a Kickstart program that started at the beginning of February. For those that purchase one of those packages, it gives you a more intimate interaction in a private Facebook group called the Keto Clan with me. Check that out. You should do that. And if you like what you're hearing, if these are helpful, share them out, share them with your friends and neighbors. Check out my book, The Keto Cure. You can go to my website at docmuscles.com, click on the blog link, and there's a pre-registration site for it there. I understand about the tea, but prove it added the BHB for that reason. But the problem is this, Lori, this is the challenge, and I disagree with it. And the issue is this. I have a bunch of patients that use exogenous ketones, but they also drink tea. The problem is that those exogenous ketones would last longer if the tea wasn't there because the tea spikes the insulin. So when you should get a 6-hour window of improved ketosis from the beta-hydroxybutyrate, when you have someone who's insulin resistant and you give them tea, it spikes it, it narrows that down to only 2 hours. In many cases. Now, it varies for different people, but my concern is when you use a tea that spikes insulin, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot for adding extra exogenous ketones. The exogenous ketones is giving you a little bit of a bridge through the tea, but my problem is if you want to be truly natural, you got to get rid of anything that's going to spike that insulin up there. And so using a tea and then throwing ketones on top of it kind of is pointless in my perspective. So that's where I do disagree with that. And the claim is that, oh, you stayed in ketosis, great. Well, I stayed in ketosis great too when I was using diet Dr. Pepper. And you should have heard the backlash I got about that. But I used it because it was an appetite suppressant. Now, as we found that it does have an effect on your ability to stay in ketosis. I've eliminated that from my diet, and my ability to stay in ketosis is more dramatic. So something to consider. Food for thought. You're welcome for the time. Rachel says, are fat bombs meant to be just fat-based, or can you add ground chia seeds for extra fiber? Rachel, you don't need the extra fiber if you're in ketosis. If you're doing a ketogenic diet correctly, you don't need the extra fiber. Thanks for all your knowledge. You're welcome, Raimundo. Caden says, I did the 5,000 cholesterol drop protocol, worked to lower the LDL and trigs, raise HDL, but the complete blood count showed high kidney stuff. Do you know if 3 days of high protein is enough to cause a BUN spike? I don't even know what the 5,000 cholesterol drop is, Caden. I've never heard of that. I use a real ketogenic diet, and it doesn't. And I don't. I'm not interested in trying to change that. I'm not sure what the protocol is. Is the book going to be good? In spite of Jimmy, I wrote the book, William. The text is mine. Jimmy has some side note commentary. But the text is mine. I wrote it. Waste the money too. Well, the challenge is, if you're going to spend that much money on exogenous ketones, why buy ketones with a component in that exogenous ketone that's going to push your ketone level down for those of us that are really insulin resistant? That's my question. Why do that? Some people say, well, it makes me sleep good. Well, great. So does Benadryl. But I don't recommend it either, because it can make you have a hangover effect the following morning. So I'm a little snarky tonight. Can you tell? All right. Yes, it is awesome. So I'm excited. Drinking tea. You're going to, or you're not going to? You're late. No, Faith, you're not late. You're always here. And you can watch the replay. And I'm on late, so not a challenge. Well, guys, you've asked some great questions tonight. I'll give you a minute or two more, and then I gotta go do charts. Thanks for the info on the diet of the Dr. Pepper. I'm going to stop now. Yvonne, you know what? I was an addict for years, but I used it because I was able to be in ketosis. But what I noticed was that my level could never get up high enough, and it took about 6 weeks. Once I was out of that 6 week window, I saw a notable improvement in my overall ketone level, and I actually feel better. But it took 6 weeks. You guys are very welcome, Sky. You're welcome, Sally. Let's see. Is black tea bad too? Yeah, any leaf-based tea, black tea, oolong tea, green tea. I'm having the hardest time maintaining lost weight with lap band. What would you recommend? A ketogenic lifestyle, Tammy. Lap band is only going to restrict your calories, but calories is a swear word in my office. You're going to just restricting calories isn't going to solve the problem. So is Benadryl. What exogenous ketones do I recommend pill form? I don't recommend a pill form of exogenous ketones. I don't think you can get enough of them in your system that way. Dr. No, you're the best. Clear quality advice. I wish I was local. Well, I wish you were local too, Bill, but you can always come and see me. Do you go by Bill? I'm assuming, William. I've switched to Dasani sparkling water. I love Dasani sparkling water. It's great. Gonna find you a low-carb chocolatier. Thank you, Laurel. If you can find me a low-carb chocolatier, I'd love it. I mean, Lily's chocolate's great, and so is the Chocolate Perfection. They're great. The problem is I live in Arizona, and nobody wants to ship chocolate in the summertime because it all melts. That's the problem. So I need one in Arizona. I drank pop for 50 years. If I can give it up, anybody can. Yes, Cheryl. I grew up on soda pop. My father came out of New Mexico, where they didn't drink the water because it tastes nasty. They grew up on Coke. So my family grew up on Coke and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper. You are very welcome, Margaret. Is cardamom tea okay? Linda, I don't know what the base component of cardamom is. If it's a leaf-based tea, I'd say no. If it's an herbal tea, you may be actually okay with it. If you eat 5,000 calories ketogenic for 3 days, it will drop your cholesterol levels before the test. If you eat 750 calories ketogenic before the test, it will raise it. Dave Feldman has a website about it. Oh, in a cholesterol code. Well, Caden, the issue is this. What we know is this. When you push, if you're in ketosis and you push the level of fat up, your fat oxidation level rises, and it'll actually drop the triglycerides lower. So yes, that's that's intuitive. Dave Feldman proved it with what he did. Yes. So as you push that fat level up, you'll actually see a drop because of what it does with fat oxidation. We know that. It also actually pushes it deprives you of glycogen, which actually drives that process even further. That's intuitive. Yes. And I hadn't read that far or seen the name. Here from Naples, thanks for sharing. Oh, you're very welcome. What about Zevia? I've had a lot of people, myself included, that Zevia actually kicks out of ketosis. Now they claim it's stevia, But I think the manufacturer of their stevia puts maltodextrin in their stevia. I think, because I've had a lot of people tell me it knocks them out of ketosis too. So I'm not a fan of stevia for that reason. Do I recommend ubiquinol? Not if you're in ketosis. I use berberine. What pork skins do you think are good? Pork clouds are my favorite tasting. My grandpa worked and retired from Coke. No pop for us because it would eat nails. It cleans your driveway too. It's pretty cool, Kelly. All right. You guys have a great night. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you're all well. I'll see if I can sign in tomorrow and do a little more. Remember, keep the fat high, keep the carbs low, pass the bacon, and savor the salt this evening or tomorrow morning, depending on what you do. And have a good night. You guys take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.